ladies and gents, this is Linda, Faychick777, and today I'm coming at you with a project to share. Not for any particular design team. I went up to our local scrapbook store a couple of months ago, and I had taken a project up there to show the gal, because I'm friends with her, and I wanted to show her what I had made. It was for a swap I'm in, and she got completely excited about it, and she went literally running around. She's like, ah! I mean, literally screamed, running around her store, and she grabs product, and I'm like, what is she doing? And she starts handing it to me, and she's like, well, I want you to do something with this. And I'm like, oh, okay. So she hands me the very large Graphic 45 slider box, and she hands me Graphic 45 Steampunk Spells paper, and then she goes back into the back storage room, and she comes back out with this bag, and in it had actual freaking clock gears. I kid you not. I was totally excited. And a clock was in there, which actually works. I didn't know at first if it worked, and it does. Woo, woo, super excited. Anyway, and so, I'm looking at it, and I'm a little bit timid because I'm thinking, okay, last year I had made my very first Halloween project, and I remember, it would be like 2 in the morning a few of the nights, and I'm up really late, and I'm working on it, and it's all freaky. Kind of made it a little bit romantic, but it was still kind of freaky, and, spiders on it and skeletons, and I'm like wigging myself out, and I still haven't got over that. And I'm like, I'm not doing one of those again, And so I kind of looked at her and I said, I'll create it, but it's not going to be scary. It's going to be kind of romantic, a little bit of shabby chic. She says, that's okay. And I'm like, okay, So I'm going to move my side out of the way, and I'm going to show you what it came up with. I will adjust my camera at first, and then I'm going to have to take it off the tripod so we can, tripod, so we can get kind of up close and personal with it, okay? So here we go. Just up here a little bit because it's big, so we are kind of far back. So this is what I came up with. I know, kind of super cute, huh? And yes, I did it. I cut out the lady. I have seen all these awesome projects with the Steampunk Spells, of course, where the lady was cut out. And I mean, how could you not? Because she is like the essence of this collection. She is so super cool. But I was like, I'm not cutting the lady out. I'm not going to do it. Everybody's done it. And you see how that turned out. You just can't help it. You got to cut her out. I actually fussy cut her out. Even the little freaking tendril curls around her face. I know. Super excited about it. So anyway, first, before I take my camera off the tripod, I will kind of flip this a little bit so you can see it. The sides, I'll let you see the sides, and then the back, of course. But then we'll just kind of focus on the front because there's not a whole lot going on those areas. But, I'll show you. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to turn it around to the side here. So here's the right side. You kind of see I did just a little bit of stenciling with the new Tim Holtz stencil, the clock stencil there. And then the back is just kind of plain. I just left it the paper, except you're able to kind of see the wire on those 2 corners that I, wrapped around the front. And then this is the other side. Again, just kind of use the Tim Holtz stencil going on there. And on the very bottom, use the Tim Holtz feet. Okay. And then the bottom's really plain. I mean, it's got paper, but I'm not going to take the time to flip it around and show you because, it's nothing super exciting. So I'm going to put this clear to the back again so we can get some good lighting and stuff in there. And just kind of where we're at on the tip top is a cabinet handle. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take my camera off, and let's see how steady I can hold this thing and get up close and personal for you. Okay. All right, let me move my tripod out of the way without making too much bobbles with the camera here. And let's go on in. Okay. So let's kind of get a nice peek here. Just kind of go around. There we go. And let me kind of move to the top so you can see that. There's the old cabinet handle. And what I did is pre-painted the box, you know, around all the corners and everything with the black acrylic paint mixed with sand. Okay, and then I used that same stuff to kind of put texture on everything. All my papers and stuff I cut up, you know, I distressed the edges, as you can see there, and I did the sewing and all that kind of stuff. There's my kind of grungy little handle. I used a couple of stencils. The Crafters Workshop, I used the 6x6 little ledger stencil. And then, of course, I already showed you the Tim Holtz, the new clock stencil. Beautiful laces, mostly from Gisela, except that little white one there. That is from Trésor Deluxe Shop. Okay. All right. Trying to get a better hold on my camera here. And we'll kind of move down the side here so you can see. All right, then we're going to kind of come up the other side. Kind of give you more view down below here. Coming on up. Super excited about this. I don't think it's too scary, huh? I think it's got a little romance in it. Shabby chic, of course. It's a little dark because it is supposed to be kind of a Halloween thing. And just a little bit of steampunk going on. Not too much. I'm not a great big... I love steampunk, but I'm not real good at it. So, you know, there's just little bits and pieces in there. And then there's the inside. Okay. So let's start back up at the top. And let's go down this left edge. You can see like some of my stenciling here with the ledger stencil. So there's the pretty lace on the left-hand side from Trésor Deluxe. This beautiful lace from Gisela. It's a beautiful, almost like an applique, and you can kind of cut these big flowers apart. And then as we go down the side, this is a piece from the chipboard collection from the Steampunk Spells. The other collection, I also used some, the Graphic 45, the Happy Haunting. And then I also actually used a sheet from Graphic 45, the French Country, and then actually just a sheet, which is the script paper you're seeing on the front. It's a basil sheet of paper. So there's my papers I used. Anyway, so chipboard from Graphic 45, and then I've got a Tim Holtz metal ornate frame. On top of that, I've got a wood word from Sawcrafter Zibbet Shop. It says delightful. I chose that word because delightful, it kind of reminded me of frightful, but, you know, it's more delightful. And it's late. Okay, on the front to kind of cover the little holes, I used those Prima, the new little junkyard finding things or whatever, the tiny little gears and screw head tops and all that sort of stuff. This is a bead landing clock hand. Okay, and then I've got a bunch of like flowers from my stash going on here. These are some flowers, I think from Craft Supplies 1. These are some Wild Orchid Craft flowers. This is with those petaloo flowers. It kind of has that webbing stuff on it. I think that's a petaloo flower too, I'm not sure. This is an actual clock gear, so I'm going to bring it around so you can kind of see that. Super fun to use because, you know, you guys know how I love to do clocks. And then, of course, I added in my token X and O. I had these little wood letter beads, so I kind of tucked it on the little spindle of the clock gear there. Grungied them up a little bit. They're nice and tiny, so, you know, when you're far away, they're just barely there. And then that, as you can see, is a little Tim Holtz number plaque, and then this is a little Tim Holtz word stick that says time. As you go down the line, this large thing right here is an actual clock pendulum that was in the bag of gears and stuff that she gave me. Super excited about that. And what I did when I attached this pendulum is I kind of attached it at an angle to kind of give it the, you know, vision that it's swinging back and forth. And as you notice from the title of my video, this is Love Beyond the Grave. So this woman, you know, has died. She's got her angel's wings, but she's taken her love with her beyond the grave. Okay, so kind of gives a little Halloween theme to it. You know, the grave stuff, but you know, whatever. I don't know if you really say that, but I am. This is a chipboard clock from Saw Crafters. I cut it in half, kind of tucked it in behind that pendulum there. This is some beautiful lace from Gisela, Lavish Laces Shop. And then I've got a little key here. I think this is one of those Momenta keys. Okay, this wire that you're seeing here and also up in the right-hand corner, this is filter. I was at Walmart. I used it on a couple other projects before. It's a great big filter with that cotton and stuff on it, and I love it because it's such thin wire and it's real flexible. It's really lightweight, so I just cut it apart. I left some of the cotton on it, and then I took my heat tool and I heat set it just a little bit, and so in some places the cotton kind of melted a little bit to kind of make it look old. So I thought that was kind of fun. And then you can see my little Tim Holtz feet there. I kind of grungied up. A little bit of stenciling and stuff going on. This is some beautiful trim from Jayzella's shop. Her laces just fit wonderfully with this project. Thank you, honey. I just am super glad to use it. This is just a trim from Walmart, kind of sort of a rosette trim. It's not really a rosette, but it's kind of that trim. Kind of goes across. We'll stay to the front here and then we'll go to the inside. This is just a wooden fence from Joann's or Michael's, I can't remember which, and then I did just a little bit of stenciling on it with that ledger stencil, added some acrylic paint, you know, to give it some texture. This I got from Michael's. It is a Halloween pick, and it had this curly Q kind of stuff on there, and it's all glittered up, so I cut it apart and kind of tucked it in. And then down below here, I've got another wooden word from Saw Crafters. It says Bliss, and kind of grungied it up a little bit. This is a butterfly. I think it's from the Engraver collection. Grungied it up a little bit. This is another clock gear going on here. And then I've got a bunch of flowers and stuff. And what I did, let me go back up real quick so you can see it. My brown flowers, let me go up not too fast. Those ones I took glossy accents and I put that on the front of the flowers so they're real glossy and they're real hard, and I let it harden up. So that's kind of a fun technique because it kind of just makes them look like they're glass almost. So that's what I did on those all those little brown flowers. Okay, so I'm going to go back down again and try not to make anyone too dizzy. Just get another little look-see there. Okay, let me back it up a little bit so we're not so close to this portion. I've got a bunch of flowers and stuff all... Sorry, I'm trying to get a hold of my camera here. There we go. All kind of tucked in here. This is another petaloo flower, a bunch of flowers and stuff going on in there. Craft Supplies 1 flowers, little velvet prima leaf going on. This is a Prima flower, a bunch of Prima flowers. My wonderful, wonderful friend Van went to the Prima store down there in California and sent me a bunch of Prima flowers, and this is one of them. This is one of them. It's a real pretty gray, kind of velvety flower. And in one of the packs, she sent me had those flat flowers that you can layer. So, and you can barely see it here, but it's right in here. So I layered a few pieces of those. And then behind it, so you can see pieces of lace and stuff sticking up. What I did is I took some of this beautiful lace that's down at the bottom of the box, and then this real pretty rosette trim here. And I kind of cut it up in pieces and layered it behind those flat flowers to kind of just give it a kind of a lacy look. And then through the center of it, I stuck this clock gear. And let me go back a second. Before I stuck this through, I put actual clock hands on the front of those flowers. Grungied them up a bit, and then stuck this clock gear through it, and then one of those teeny tiny little Prima gears right there. And then hanging from it is a Prima Roman numeral going on here. Grungied it up. And then what I did is I took 2-inch sheer... 2-inch wide black sheer ribbon, tied it in a bow and kind of tucked it behind the gear there, and then I just kind of pleated it down along the bottom there, and then pleated it down along the side of the project. Okay, and then I've got that white flower is just fabric flower from my stash. I think I got it at like an antique store. And then right up above it, that is so cool. I found it at Michael's. It is actually, you know, a fabric flower, and coming out the center of it is this skeleton hand. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I gotta have it. It'll look so cool, like it's holding the clock. And that was my intention for it, to make it look like it's holding that clock. And I just think that is so cool. And then on the front of it, you can see that Beyond Love. That's another woodward from Sawcrafter's shop. And then right there in the little, you know, at the little corners, right there and there are those little Prima things again. I love those. They're like little half screws and the little gears because they cover the holes nicely, you know, and you don't have to try to put brads through there and have the little tines of the brads sticking out the back and all that kind of stuff. So those are awesome to cover up little holes with. As you can see, you've got a light bulb going on in there. I've got another little Prima gear, clock gear. I was looking at clock gear and thinking Prima flowers. And then a bunch more flowers for my stash in there. This is actually, it looks like a black glitter doily, but it was actually this little oval sign from Michael's in the Halloween section, had like a Halloween picture on the front. So I took the picture off, cut it in half, and kind of layered it in there. And then I've got some old, like, that I found at a garage sale, just this antique, like, doily that I kind of tucked in there. And it's all tucked behind it and tucked around over and, you know, around the flowers and all sorts of stuff like that. I've got a velvet flower going on in here. And for the life of me, I cannot remember the brand, but it's at Michael's. And then this thing was in the pack of all the Prima stuff that Van sent me. And it's, I think it's supposed to be a black flower, but you know what? It looks like a creepy black butterfly to me. So that's what I made it to be, a little creepy black butterfly, but pretty. And it actually is on like this curly wire there. So that's how it came in the pack of flowers. So I left it there so it's a little bit movable. Another one of those beautiful applique flowers from Gisela. And then this is just a Recollections lamppost. And then again, some more of that filter wire there. And then the clock, you can see it there. And all I did, the glass was actually off of the front of this. So I had to glue the glass on. And then around the edge of it, I put the black texture paint and then kind of brought it down and into the front. And inside, before I glued the glass, I put black texture paint on the hands and that. And then some of the, you know, on the clock face inside itself. And this clock, what I've done is I've got like 4 pieces of Velcro and a little magnet over here that it attaches to on the corner of this box. So to access the battery, all you got to do is kind of pull it off of the Velcro and the magnet and kind of slide it out. And this hand moves enough so you can slide it out, change the battery, and then slide the clock back in. Okay, so let's go to the center. There's some of the French Country collection back there, and then some, you know, I did like 3 strips of paper in the background because I wanted the tree. I used the polka dot paper from the Steampunk Spells to make it kind of look like Starry Night back there. And the tree that I'm just talking about is a velvet cutout tree that I got from our local Dollar Tree. And all I did, you can kind of see some of the glitter in there, is I shimmer misted it up with the Lindy's, the Midnight Rendezvous Raven. I used that that shimmer through pretty much this entire project. Okay, and then back here kind of in the corner, you can see a bunch of black flowers going on there. Shimmer misted all those up. Those are just fabric flowers from local Dollar Tree. And then as you can see, like I said, I cut the lady out and I grunged up a little bit of her, not too much. And I I used chipboard and popped her up so she's dimensional, because I've got her set up on these wings here, and that brought her up probably a good ½ an inch. So I wanted the rest of her to be all dimensional, you know, as if she's in front of the tree. Now these chipboard wings I got from my very wonderful twinsy. I call her my twinsy. We call each other twinsies because we are so similar. From P, who's Whimsical Endeavors here on YouTube. And those are the Tim Holtz wings. And I wanted to keep them kind of the color that they were. So I used Lindy's Stamp Gang, kind of the Mission Bells brown, and just shimmered them up. And you can see some areas where it's a little bit darker because I sprayed a little bit more spray to kind of give it, you know, definition between the wings. And then I added black acrylic paint kind of on the tips. Both sides. Okay. And then going down to the bottom, kind of wanted her to be on her bike, of course. She should be on the grave, but she's still riding her bike. I've got this wooden clock piece here. The skeleton clock is from Sawcrafter's Exhibit Shop. And then I've got some flowers going on in there again. Craft Supplies 1 and I Am Roses. Another little clock gear here. Did I put... Yes, I could barely see it because the lighting in here, and I hope the lighting's good for you guys. Front of the clock gear, I put a Tim Holtz, one of his little arrow things, and then another one, the little Prima tiny gears there. And then this is a Prima engraver butterfly there, just kind of grunged him up a little bit, and some beautiful rosette trim from Jzella. Okay, and I think I got... Oh, that yesterday, it actually says, you can barely see it, but it says remember yesterday. This is just a rub-on, and I just liked it because it kind of went in with the theme of the whole thing. And then that is just a little swirly, you know, cutout. I believe P sent that to me as well, a little die cut, so I wanted to use that on there. And then, you know, you could see all the shimmer mist and all the dots and all that kind of sort of stuff going on in there. But anyway... Here is my project for local scrapbook store. I hope she likes it. Backing out so you guys can see it all. I hope you liked it. I had fun with it and it didn't creep me out this time. So anyway, thanks for sharing your time with me. Leave a comment below and I'll get some pictures up on my blog if you want to see some close-up photos and everything. I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.